Hello, everyone. I'm here with Alex Langer, President and CEO of Sierra Madre Gold and Silver, as well as Greg Liller, who is Executive Chair and Chief Operating Officer. We're doing the backstage interview for the Metals Investor Forum. Alex and Greg, thanks for your time today to dig a little deeper on Sierra Madre.
Thanks for having us, Peter. Always happy to chat.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It was a pleasure for me as well. So why don't we start digging into a little bit of the technical side of where things are headed. You acquired a project called Tigre back in July. There's ongoing exploration there. I know that there were some actually quite encouraging trenching results that came out not that long ago. Greg, maybe you could speak a little bit to what those are, what they suggest, and maybe what's next for Tigre.
Tigre is one of these projects that has not gotten any recent exploration work done on it, which was what I found quite attractive. And there was a sizable old historic mine there. It's owned by Grupo. That's who we've done the deal with. And Grupo's Mexico controls Southern Copper, which is one of the biggest copper producers. They've got Cananea in Mexico, which is like the third largest copper mine in the world. So these precious metal opportunities don't really mean much to them. So we were very pleased that they were willing to do a deal with us. So La Tigre is it's basically a raw exploration opportunity. It had never had any modern mapping, didn't even have a decent topo map for it. That was the first thing we did. Mapped it out. In the process of the mapping, we found there was a lot more mineralized structures there. We also had some really nice gold assays come back in the reconnaissance. This has been has been proven out in the trenches. The widths are probably overall 10 to 15 meters on average, which is a nice zone for bulk tonnage. But I think one of the things that always impressed me about it was you could actually see visible gold there. And I've only worked on one other project in Mexico that you could actually find gold. For me to see, it's quite unusual. But no, so we've got more structure than what we had initially counted on. And the trenching's coming in quite nicely. I think when we had the talk the other day, I commented on the fact that because assays are so slow, we've resorted to another very old-fashioned method, and that's panning samples in order to help give us an indicator as to where we're going. And if you can do that, you can be pretty assured you've got some nice gold grades there. And I mean, we've gotten in recon samples, 25 grams, 15 grams, 18 grams. I mean, it wasn't all that unusual. I think out of a total of 500 some odd samples, we were averaging half a gram, which when you take recon, you're getting a lot of below detections there. That's pretty significant. So no, the trenching is definitely helping us define and refine our drill targets. And like I said, with the additional structures, they stack on top of each other. They're parallel. So we could develop a significant bulk tonnage deposit there too, on top of the high grade potential. So no, I'm very happy and pleased with the work that we've done thus far, and it's progressing quite rapidly. I think we've got 4 geologists there on site. So no, I'm very happy with it.
And what would be next on that project at Tigre?
Drilling.
Okay. And how soon do you look forward to that?
We've signed a drilling contract. We'll start with the rig at our flagship, Tepic. And the plan there is to drill 15 or so holes and then move it up to La Tigre, do 15 there while we wait for assay results at Tepic, and then go back to Tepic. I'm very reluctant to offset holes without benefit of having the assay. You can waste a lot of money doing that. I mean, each one of these holes costs $15,000, maybe $20,000. You don't want to waste that kind of money. So we're very budget conscious. Been in the business long enough. I know you have to be careful with the shareholders' money. So we're going to make the best use of every penny we have.
So if you had to, or if you can tell us roughly what kind of exploration program you have for this year in terms of meters and on each of the projects.
I really haven't put a set number of meters. I have a tendency that once I get my hands on a drill rig, I'm very reluctant to let go of it. As long as we're still getting good drill results and increasing the potential of the property, we're just going to keep on drilling. I think Alex will probably cut me off at what, about 4 million?
Yeah, 4 to 5 million and that'd be a great case scenario. That means the programs are going really, really well.
Yeah, we get a lot of drilling done for that. So.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
So,
that's certainly a good amount of money spent on drilling for a junior. And if you got there, that would be because, as you say, results are very encouraging.
Well, and as we get more information out of the core and a better confidence level in our geologic interpretation, we'll probably bring on an RC rig. RC drilling you can get done for roughly half the cost of core drilling. It's much more rapid, so I want to have a lot of holes laid out ahead of time. But again, we can bring that on and just bounce it back and forth between the projects along with the core rig.
So if we shift gears for a moment, Alex, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how in December your shares were listed in the US on the OTCQB. Now the shares are eligible for the DTC. These are a lot of acronyms.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
All about it, what it means and what the implications are.
For sure. So in essence, we are traded on the TSX Venture Exchange. We have a piggyback listing on Frankfurt as well, which is quite active. The Frankfurt process is relatively straightforward. You have to fill in some corporate paperwork and then it just piggybacks. You need to find a market maker. So we set that up quite a while ago. OTC is a bit more of a process. US exchange, we're probably going to be upgrading to the OC, to the QX, which is one level higher over the next year. That's really the highest level exchange we can be at until you move on to a NASDAQ or New York. And if all goes well, who knows? So what it in essence allows us to do, or allows our shareholders or future shareholders, is to buy and sell our securities much easier. Without an OTCQX listing or the DTC, interested shareholders would literally have to contact the Canadian broker. And to open an account I was a broker before at Canaccord, and to have a US client, it's a pretty arduous process. You have to meet quite a few various requirements, including enough capital in the account. It's usually about $1 million. So it really prohibits the amount of investors that you can reach out to. So by having DTC eligibility, in essence, it allows for clearing the securities much easier. So people who have online accounts or online brokers can now buy and sell Sierra Madre quite easily. So it just opens up our investor base from Canada and a little bit of Europe to literally the largest market, largest wealth capital in the world, which is the US retail investor. So being fortunate enough to be a part of a number of stories, and whenever you can get into the US, and if there's a silver bull market coming on the US side, could be really quite exciting. And we just want to make sure that we're able to tell our story to people that are interested in silver and exploration and in Mexico and hopefully future development. So really just opens us up for new future investors and just makes it a lot easier for people to buy and sell our security. Yeah,
that sounds like obviously a great and an important development for liquidity and to draw interest and so on. You mentioned silver bull market and how being exposed to U.S. investors can certainly make things more exciting in a silver bull market. Being responsible for a junior explorer that's looking for silver in Mexico, I would assume that you're a silver bull. Maybe you can tell us kind of your outlook on the market.
Oh, absolutely. I could go on for hours with you, Peter. I know even before I chat, we were getting into it, but obviously I'm quite bullish. I was fortunate enough to be in the markets and specifically in silver as an investor or broker while I was at Canaccord. I remember the days with Endeavor Silver and Fortuna. They were trading the float on the New York Stock Exchange 2 or 3 times over daily. So it just goes to show the potential and the interest. People understand silver. It's one of these commodities that it's not just a store of value or a hedge, a bet against hedge and inflation. But it's such high uses, whether it's solar panels and medical and jewelry. So it's one that's near and dear to my heart. I really feel we're getting to that point. Obviously, there's funky stuff going on with the silver price itself, but I won't comment on that too much. But longer term, we're really excited, and I think our projects kind of speak for themselves in terms of what we have, and if we're able to bite into a silver bull market at the same time. I think everyone will be quite excited and quite happy.
Absolutely. I think that we kind of share the outlook. And speaking of outlooks, maybe you can just tell us in a few words what kind of catalysts investors and followers can look forward to for this year.
Absolutely. It's going to be quite exciting. So it's kind of at the point now, as I mentioned, we do have the US listing, the DTC eligibility, the drill rig to start is coming. So we're going to have literally nonstop news. Our catalysts and our goals kind of for 2022 at Tepic, we'll start there, is to come out with an NI 43-101 resource report, hopefully for middle of the year. But as Greg mentioned, if things go really well, that could very well be pushed into Q3. Just a reminder, we have 2 historic resources there, one of 10 million ounces of silver, the other one of 18. So we're going to be kind of attacking that area. We want to increase that. We want to bring that into a modern number, and I think that'll be quite exciting. So that's a massive catalyst for the company. If we can get to a point where we're quite comfortable with the size, then we'll move right into feasibility work, scoping studies, engineering, and whatnot to start to move into production as quickly as possible. On the other side, we have the Tigre, and as Greg mentioned, you can tell he's quite excited about that project. We literally have a really great opportunity for discovery here. So we're going to be doing 15 holes at Tepic, and then that drill rig is coming to the Tigre, and we'll be looking for discovery there. I know there's some internal chatter of maybe going for the discovery first, but it's 5 to 6 weeks later. These holes are relatively shallow and should be moving quickly. So we'll have news flow. Obviously, assays have been slow, but we're expecting that to speed up. We're going to be using a different lab, so we'll have a couple labs at the same time, which I think will be positive. We have a number of trench work and results that are still pending. So as of now, we've kind of been a little bit quiet in terms of our marketing. But now that everything's turned on and we have lots to talk about, we're going to be really, really active. So it should be quite exciting.
Well, it certainly sounds like it'll be a full year in terms of news and potential upside exploration and so forth. Alex, Greg, thank you so much for your time and this digger deep on Sierra Madre. Certainly looking forward to following the story and looking forward to chatting again.